Welcome! I've decided to make a video about this game because this game has a free demo out right now, being developed by one singular developer, and they really need your help right now. First, let's cover the topic about the problem and then we'll move on to the game. So unfortunately there's a bit of drama going on with Unity, and the game is being developed on Unity, and the developer needed to find an alternative to develop the game on. And the developer went over every game engine that you can think of, Lumberyard, Godot, Unreal Engine, you name it, he tried it. Now the developer wanted to switch to Unreal Engine, but he didn't trust Unreal Engine because of what Unity did to developers. So he went over to Godot, and he is very familiar with the style Godot is also in, because it's very identical to Unity. He took 2 days for himself to make a game in Godot, and this is what it looked like. Very good, I agree. Now let's move on to the game. Now the game we're talking about is called Road to Vostok. It's a very good game. I don't know where to put it. It's almost like a Stalker, Tarkov mixed together, but just single player. And like I said in the beginning, you can try this game out right now. He is currently updating it as it goes because it has a free demo. The way he's executing the development of the game is he's actually taking the community suggestions and making the game through the suggestions, as the community always wants the game developers to do, and he's doing it, and he's not getting the publicity that he needs. So as you guys can see through the vibe of the game, it has a Stalker vibe. It's set in the Eastern Europe part of Europe, and the whole idea of this game is almost like Stalker. The more you travel to Vostok, the game will get harder, but the loot will get 10 times better. Now gameplay wise, the game has 4 elements to it: survival, looting, trading and events. Now the base game, not the demo that's out right now, the base game survival elements will be featuring over 20 medical conditions, tactical weapon handling, permadeath elements and in-depth character simulation. And then you also get looting. Now you can scavenge, storage and craft hundreds of unique items. You can also find weapons, tools, consumables, medical items, military gear, electronics, clothes and much more. And then you also get trading and events, but let's talk about trading first. Now trading basically explains itself. You get to trade, buy and sell items to specialized in-game traders. Now the traders can also be used for services like medical care or weapon maintenance. The trading system will also work through the refuse and accept value system. Now the events is probably the most important part about the game. The reason I say so, if a game doesn't have events, it's gonna be a boring game. But Road to Vostok really focuses on the events and to make it unique as possible. Now the world in Road to Vostok is going to include randomized game events like crash sites, airdrops, ambushes and special trading quest events. Now the events in Road to Vostok, like the ambushes and attacks at the crash site, is going to be harder with the environmental weather system that the developer has implemented in the game. So it might be raining, it might be storming, or it might be sunny, or it might be night, you know? And before you think that this game is not going to have vehicles, it is going to have vehicles, because you're going to need the vehicles, but with the size of the map that the map's going to be in. Unfortunately, I don't have a video about the vehicles because the game is already in such an early state of development, but in the future he's going to implement vehicles because it's part of the plan. And then there's also one game mode that's very unique, and it's called the winter system. Because this is a survival game, and you know, in survival situations, if it's winter, you might as well be dead. And playing in the winter mode makes survival significantly more difficult in several ways. Getting water becomes more difficult, and the character's clothing has to be taken care of in a different way. And there's one more thing, it's called the North. Now the North doesn't have any hostile enemies, only peaceful wilderness, nature and wildlife. But there's a catch. Getting to this wilderness area requires separate train transportation. And I don't know, something about the North sounds like it's going to be hard to get there, especially if you need to get on train to get there. So it's most probably gonna be guarded before you can get on the train. Now, a lot of these events and stuff that I've just talked about is not in the game yet, although it is going to be implemented in the near future. I'm sure the developer is going to be putting a price on the game when the game is going to release, and it's not going to stay free forever. But at the end of the day, he did put his all time into this game, and I think he deserves the publicity to talk about this game and to make his game come true and his vision come true. So go download the demo, see if it's your cup of tea. If you have a bit of extra money, choose between becoming a member on the channel or to, you know, support him on Patreon if you think it's worth it. Oh, and no, I am not sponsored, although, you know, I'm a bit poor, so, and I live in Africa, so I just get that privilege card.